Today what I'm demonstrating is how to combine slab end pieces so that they can be used to make a cylinder or a mug itself. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm using what's called a bevel tool. And what it's going to do is it's going to cut my edge of my clay on an angle so that when I join it with the opposite side, which will also have an angle, then those pieces will overlap nice and even and make it a little easier for you to bring those points together. So then when I cut this, I'm just kind of holding on to the edge here. I know you can't see it all too well, but I'm holding on to the edge so that it doesn't push the clay out of shape. I'm going to hold on to that just in case I need it later. Now I cut this top part. Now I'm going to flip my slab upside down and I'm going to start to cut the bottom piece. So I'm cutting the opposite side on the bottom. I cut the other side on the top. Now what I'm ready to do is I'm going to scratch the surface, or this is also known as scoring. So I'm going to score this surface without distorting that nice pretty angle that I made. Flip it over to this side here. And I'm going to score this side as well. This clay piece is not super dry. It's really moist and in the plasticity stage. So it's going to join together really nicely. I've also brought over a little container which has slip inside of it. Slip is a really wet clay. And what I'm going to be doing is just taking a little scoop of that and adding it to the seam where these two pieces are going to be joined. Since I'm recording, I would like to remind you not to talk. All right. Now I'm going to kind of flip it over a little bit and I'm going to start to stand him up. Now I'm going to bring these two edges together. And I'm just right now just going to kind of push them together. And a little bit of my texture might be lost in that process, but that's okay. That's something we can kind of redo as we're going. So I'm just kind of bringing those edges together, and then I'm going to smooth it a little bit. Okay, so this is, right now it looks kind of messy. But I'm going to clean that up as I go. So I'm just going over that seam. Any area where those two ends meet, I want to try to smooth that out. I'm going to smooth it out on the outside and the inside. Okay? So right now, when I stand this up onto my other slab, it's a little skinnier at the bottom than I thought it was going to be. A little bit different than I thought. All right, let me scoot this over. So what I'm going to do next is, and I have a way to fix that, by the way, so I'm not going to finish it completely, but now my next job is going to be cutting a bottom. Now, let me move the camera so you can see that just a little bit better. That's me. Sorry, not what I meant to do. There we go. So now I'm just taking my tool and I'm going to cut that bottom piece about the same size as the top piece, which is your mug or your cylinder or whatever the case may be. Okay, so I'm going to go all the way around and then I'm going to do the same method of slip and score that I did when I was joining the two ends. Let me finish cutting this here. So I'll be scratching that surface and then adding my slip to both pieces that are going together. And then I will be able to put them on top and begin smoothing them out. Since this is a little bit different shape than we intended, I'm gonna adjust it a little bit, so I'm not gonna finish it just now. But one thing that you wanna pay attention to is that seam, smoothing it out, making sure it's fully attached. So if I bring this around here and you can see inside a little better, is this complete on the inside? No, because it hasn't been smoothed out. So that's really an important part of your job. All right, that's good for today.